Hello, my name is Fred Freed, and this video is for jazz guitarists who love solo jazz guitar as I do. And what I'm going to do is demonstrate my approach, both harmonically, technically, arrangement-wise, or for improvisation, and hopefully crack open a few doors for you to go in, look around, and come up with your own ideas. There are many approaches. This is just the way I like to look at things. And to do this, I'm going to show you the first course of a video made of Victor Young's great Stella by Starlight that will talk about it. Before that, however, also I'll link that video if you want to see the whole thing down below. If you can't find it or if I fail at linking it, it's YouTube Fred Freed Stella by Starlight. One note here, this is an 8-string guitar, low A on but below the low E, high A over the high E, but this by no means should keep you from checking out the video because we're talking harmony and technique and we're talking music here, and it really doesn't matter how many strings you got. So with no further ado, here's the first chorus of Stella, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks. Okay, so there was the first chorus of my arrangement of Stella by Starlight. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down into the little segments. This bar, these few notes, etc. What I did, how I did, why I did what I did, and what were my choices. What else could I have done? And this does become, in arranging for guitar, a matter of choices. And let me just say at the outset, the more resources you have, the more fundamentals you have in your head and under your fingers, the more choices you're going to be able to make. And sometimes it's a burden. So let's get into it. The first chord, as written, of Stella by Starlight is a 1 diminished chord. It was originally in the key of G, I believe. So that would have been G diminished. But most people now do it in B flat. So let's... there's my B flat diminished, my melody note going B flat A. And there's my first chord as originally written. And that's not bad, that first chord. And I think it was in the 40s when it was written, this tune. So starting on a diminished chord may have been looked upon as kind of adventurous. But as the tune evolved, especially among jazz players, they tend to play E minor 7 flat 5 to A7 flat 9, or some kind of an A7. There's an A7 flat 9. C minor 7 F7. Incidentally, you know, you think usually E minor 7 flat 5 going to an A7, some kind of A7, is going to go to a D minor 7. And this doesn't do that. It goes to a C minor 7 to an F7, which is pretty unique. But I'll talk about that. If you're going to do that, if you're going to go to the C minor 7 to an F7, which is as written, one tip I can give you is that if you're holding that F, C minor 7 to, in that case I played an F13, don't play the F melody twice. It's not written and it sounds more musical. If you can hold it, you know, you hear how that F held? Different ways to do that. That time I played, I arpeggiated a C minor 9, a line, and actually went to an F augmented. Okay, so there's a tip. If you don't have to, if you are changing chords and your melody note is held, try and hold it. And to do that, you may have to work out different fingerings or different voicings. But anyway, what I did with the opening, I'm going to talk about the intro in a second. I just played F minor 7 to E minor 7 with no flat 5. So there's root, there's the E, G, minor 3rd, flat 7 to D, A on top, that's your melody note, your 11 or your 4. Okay, I'm going to play that chord, and notice between the two top notes is a perfect fifth, between the D and the A. And I'm going to use that to start a sequence of perfect fifths going down. Ah, shit. There it is. So this is a very effective thing that I learned from listening to Bill Evans. And one of the reasons it is so effective is because you're holding the melody note, and you do hold notes that you can hold. If I didn't hold that melody note, that A, and I just played a series of fifths, you know, it would sound pretty stark and bare. It wouldn't have nearly the nice effect that it does when you're going, you know. And you can do that with many chords. Take a chord with a fifth interval in it. Here's an A minor 7 with between the C and my minor 3rd and my flat 7, perfect fifth. So it's a beautiful effect. D minor 7, G sus. So you can experiment with that. Major 7, so on and so forth. So that's what I did there. And now my next melody notes are, you know, G, A, B flat, F. And we talked about that before. It goes to C minor 7 to F. But I wanted to look for something. What else can I do with that? And there are many choices. I mean, you could just play them as intervals, like 6. That's pretty nice. You could take a bass line down that, say, wants to end up to the C minor. So E flat, D minor, there's a D flat 13, there's a C minor 11. If I was to do that, however, I would look at that and say, well, what's going on here? And what I did with each chord, I arpeggiated upwards, and it didn't. And I could play. Here I did a E flat major 7, and then when I'm going to a D minor 7, I arpeggiated, implied a D minor 9. I could have gone to a D 7 sharp 9, then to a D flat bass note, and melody note is the 6th or 13th. It could have been a nice minor 6th, or it could or there's my D flat 9, or D flat 9 sharp 11 and to C minor 7. So there's choices, and within the choices there are choices. So I came up with the bass line, the melody note. How do I want to voice the chords, the voices between that bass line, bass note, and the melody? What I did, then one other choice, maybe going the other way. Series of suspended chords like D sus, E sus, F sus. I like that because it has a nice modern sound. I didn't stick with that. What I did was I said, what about just minor 7ths or minor 9ths going up? Minor 7ths, or these have 9ths. I like that. Where's the melody? Okay, let's put the melody in here, and we have pretty nice. But it didn't quite do it for me, so what I did was, here's it. I added a little device. Here's a D minor 7th, or a minor 9th, and between the minor 3rd and the 5th of the chord, the F and the A, that's a major 3rd, I'm going to hold the minor 3rd, the F, and the A is going to go to G, and then I'm going to play a C above that. Okay, but never mind that. What it sounds like is, so reminded me of you can do that device with Star Wars. You know, come on, Fred. It's not Star Wars, but it's reminiscent if you think about that. Anyway, okay, so where's the melody? If I use that and gotta get the melody in, of course, so I'm refingering it. Okay, I like that. And my next melody note, of course, is F as written. It's an F7 or C minor to F7. But I'm already at F. When I did this little sequence, I'm already at F, and it's not going to be very cool. It'll sound terrible to go to an F7 after that. Not always, but in this case, it will. So I'm going to take the bass line up to G flat, up a half a step, play the melody, the F. That's implying a G flat major 7. And there's my G flat major 7. I suppose could have been a minor major 7. Choices. Okay, but I landed on the G flat major 7, but I'm thinking let's make this a little prettier voicing, a little more kind of ethereal or ambiguous. So what I'm doing is I'm voicing it root, 5th, 3rd, 4th, 4 right next to the major 3rd, and then there's my melody, the F. And then the chord's going to drop down to F, where I'm holding the melody, the F. And I think what I did was, the key here, one of the keys is, I'm holding that F and I'm not hitting it again. I'm not going, not bad, but I think it's more musical to play the melody as written, which is a whole note or whatever it is. It's not attacked twice. Hopefully you heard that F sustain, depending upon what you're listening to this on. And so that little chord sequence between the G flat and the F is what gave me the idea to make it the intro, and then again at the ending, because I like to frame the tune. It's a nice frame for it. Okay, then the next note, bottom, that's an F minor 9. And what I did was I have a method where I use some hammer-ons to imply that whole D minor 9. So, while holding that 9 up there. Okay, so what I did was root 5, root 2, minor third, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, while holding that melody note. I've used this before. It's a very nice effect. Okay, and then ba-da-da-dum. So I'm on F minor, and so I'm going to go from minor third to an A flat, G flat. There's my F minor. Bum. As written, it's an E flat major 7. I wanted to give it a little more tension, a little twist there. So instead of the E flat major 7, I went to implied an E minor 7 flat 5 with 3 notes. The E in the bass, a 4 next to the flat 5. And I'm gonna start a line. E flat in the bass, D minor 9, C minor 7. So the bass line went from E to E flat to D to C. Once more. Ba-dum, ba-da-da, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Now, just a little thing to notice. When I went from the D minor 9 here, I've got the 9th of the D minor. The E on the guitar player's 5th string, on the A string. Okay? And when I go to C minor, that drops down to the minor third of the C minor. So it's just a nice voice leading. Okay, backtracking. Now the melody is ba-da-da-ba-da, which is just a B flat scale starting on the 4th, which that would be an A7 flat 9, D minor 7, maybe to an E flat sus. Okay. Now starting on the melody is the E flat, the 4th of B flat. Sounds suspended. It could have been a major 7 with the 4th, but a B flat sus sounds is very related to an F minor. And what I did was I took the melody down. I took a succession of minor 7th chords that followed the melody. F minor 7, E minor 7, D minor 7, C minor 7. Okay, that's well and good. Doesn't exactly do it for me, so I'm going to play. Let's create a line within those chords. And what I did was a line going down on one chord, up the next chord, down and up. So I have I like that. So I think it's really kind of nice, if I do say so. I'm at C minor. Now I'm going to keep going down to B natural, G over B, A over C sharp, and I'm not going to D, I'm going to C minor, to B flat minor. Now when I go from C minor, I'm going to do something on the B flat minor where hit the bass note, arpeggiate the minor 9th, A in the bass, A flat in the bass, G flat, like a Lydian G flat sound, sharp 4 to 3rd. And that leads me to ba-da-ba-da-da-da, but we'll get to that. So why it's like composition. I created a little composition between this part and that part, and I just I like to think I just don't do it to be clever. I do it because it fits the tune to me. It enhances it. You do something to be clever because you know you can do this on guitar, and isn't this cool? Not always might not always be the most musical idea. If you got both, if you can be clever and it enhances the tune, so much for the better. So anyway, I had I just think that's really pretty. And it leads, I'm a G flat, it leads to the F where the tune is written, goes to F sus. So some people would use a succession of triads. That's pretty cool. I opted for tenths with the melody over an F pedal. And incidentally, see, a little digression. I was fortunate enough to study with George Van Epps, and he got me playing tenths, sixths, different intervals on the guitar, just to see them, and technically to be able to play tenths. So definitely worth practicing. You can work out your technique for that. He had a very specific technique for doing it. Teams of fingers, or I'm playing thumb, middle finger, first finger, ring finger. I don't always do that. Sometimes, you don't do that, but that's basically the idea. So anyway, there's my tenths, right? Then I drop down to E flat major 7, melody in sixths. And now to my big fat A minor 11. And there's my D7, actually D7, I think it's a flat 9 sharp 11. But within the chord, there's, notice I held the melody, that D on top, C on top. And there's an A flat triad. So now I'm going to stop playing rubato. I'm going to stop, look around. What can I do something with that? And there's probably a million things you could do. You can always play a line. Just drop it. And so many players, make it play a line to just get off it. What I'm doing here, I'm going. I like that, so I stuck with that. If you're obviously you're on a D7 chord, any number of things you can do on an altered D7. But okay, I'm at the D7. I just did that little embellishment. Still on D, and I'm going to be going to G7 as the tune is written. But here's my D triad, and what I'm going to do is a succession of major triads, starting with the D, going up a diminished scale. Thus, here it is. And there's my G7. Notice it's only here's my melody note, the flat 13, E flat. And all I need to do is play the flat 7, the F, and the B, which is the third and flat 7 of G7. So, is that? I might have even forgotten something. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. So I did that. Major triads. Then I took another voicing of G7. Okay, so that's my flat 7, a sharp 9 next to the third, flat 13. So I have a major third on top, and I'm going to take that up like a whole tone. Almost all whole tone except for there. Here's my big fat C minor 11, and I'm going to stop there and go, wait, let's do something there. And lo and behold, I can thought maybe fifths, as I showed you in the first chord on the E minor. But here's my C minor. And here, so there's a succession of perfect fifths. And now my melody, I just played that single line. Oh my God. And as written, it would go to the tonic chord, B flat major 9. Melody being C the 9. But I didn't do that. I went D flat major 7, G flat major 7. And since I'm holding that C and changing the chords, I can throw a line in the middle there. Or so once again, here's my choice. I've made the choice. Can I do something within that choice? And the choices within the choices. So I got Coming Home. That's just an E minor with a fourth next to the minor third. Then instead of the A7, it's an A over C sharp. Okay, now here's a little succession of triads going up, bass line going down. E flat over D flat, F over C, G flat over B natural, and then that B natural is going down to, wants to go down to B flat, but my chord is E flat minor 9. So I play a line and finally hit the E flat. If you're playing 6 string, or I'm going to the 7, the low string, down a half step. Same thing there. So it's a D minor 9 over A, with a line, D minor 9. Oh, and there's my D flat minor 11. And incidentally, as it's evolved, a lot of jazz players at that point will go, there's a series of chromatic 2/5s. E flat, A flat, D, G, D flat, G flat, C minor, F. I didn't do that, but that's always, and blowing, that's always a great choice, an option. So, but anyway, I went, there's my D flat. I held a melody note. This is important because now I went up to E minor 9, E flat minor 7 to D major 7, all while holding that G flat up there. Back home. And I played a 6/9 chord, and since I have a B flat 6/9 chord between the 6th and the 9th, a perfect 4th, can move them around. Always sounds nice to move them around. And what I did was, there's my E minor. That's the beginning of the tune. I'm off and running. And there you have basically what I did. So some of the things, you have to experiment with harmonizations. And even if you're playing the written chord, there's so many choices in your voicings, what you want to hold, whether you can imply the chord with just a line or with just 2 notes. I mean, if I went to the end of this tune, so here I was again. Now, I did this, but suppose I went, play a line. And once again, you're into the tune, but you don't have to. I could have gone to the major 7 here. I went to the 6/9, but here's just a plain old B flat major 7 between the major 7 and the 3rd, the A and the D, 4ths again. So it's always nice to have movement under a sustained melody note. It's more pianistic, if you like that sort of thing. So this is just my approach. Heaven knows there are these days some great guitar players with different approaches, and they're all worth checking out, whether they're playing single lines or they're different harmonies. It's wide open, and if you love to do it like I do, you're gonna work at it, you're gonna find great things. So I hope that helps, and I hope maybe to do some more of these. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.